There's no more
Oh,
countdowns. No, 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 no. We're already in this shit. You turned recording already. Now,
yeah, we are. We're live. So,
then don't go. All right, here we go, everybody. We're playing Pikmin. This is part 2, and our pilot today is gonna be Zach, and our co-pilot's gonna be Edward. Yeah, that's how you do it.
that's a pretty good intro. So yeah, we're
You're
gonna keep
welcome.
playing Pikmin. So when we last left
How
off, we
you
got.
introed us? How dare you overwrite my intro? I will not let you get a decent one out. Mine is the standard. Nope.
Hold on, let me check these
Nope.
levels.
Oh, it's 9 days.
All right, where should we get? Yeah, so between streams, had a little boo boo with the save file, and so I basically had to get us back to where we were. So aside from the Pikmin counts and the day count, we are have the exact same parts collected, same areas explored. And so what I wanted to do is, because last week when we were playing the game, I had mentioned that there are a few different endings you can get depending on how complete your playthrough is. And so before we jump back into our playthrough, I want to show you what happens if we get the bad ending of the game. Yeah, so one way or another, the game ends at day 30, whether you've completely repaired the ship or not. And so we're coming into a play file here where we have not collected the 25 required parts to successfully leave the planet.
Have we collected a single one, or any of them, or just none?
We've collected a handful, but not enough to give us a good ending. And so I'm just going to go ahead and... Oh, it's the last day, so we cannot actually skip to the sunset. Oh, well. So we're just going to eat up a little bit of time here. So we're on day 30, and we've only collected, 12 parts in this playthrough? This is actually a good opportunity for me to show off something we did not encounter in our playthrough. The last time we were at the impact site, in that little central stump area, we fought the Mamuta, who was largely harmless to our Pikmin, but did have the ability to forcibly replant them, which is aggravating. And he only spawns on, let's see, odd number days. So if we come back on even number days, there's something else here. Nothing. Nothing from that patch of grass. Cool. Cool game. Oh no, he spawns on even number days. Oh well. We'll deal with that later.
He both lied to us and misguided us.
Alright, well, we can play through this as normal. So, yeah. So, like I said before, in order to have a good ending of the game, there are 25 out of the 30 parts that are required to successfully repair the ship. And so what's going to happen if we don't have all 25 of those parts is Olimar is going to attempt to take off, and we're just going to see how well that goes for him. So a fun thing you can do with the bomb rocks is if you throw a Pikmin that's carrying a bomb rock towards an enemy, they will chuck that bomb at that enemy. It's quite useful if you're in a pinch, but since bomb rocks tend to be in limited supply, it may not be the most expeditious use of that resource. Well, we got some time to kill, evidently, because I wasn't where you could actually not skip the final day. So while our Pikmin are doing nothing, I want to read you some log entries that Olimar will give you at the end of the day. As I said last week, there are a number of different things that he will tell you, depending on kind of what happens in the day. So a couple of his log entries are basically going to be filler stuff where like nothing of importance happens, but he still needs to say something. For example, message number 6. It has been X amount of days since I crashed on this planet. My reflection in the mirror is looking a little gaunt, and to think my wife warned me not to gain too much weight on this vacation. Ha! The thought makes me chortle. She surely would be surprised to see me now. It feels as if it has been many years since I saw her last.
Another. Divorced?
No. They are happily married. Olimar just went on a vacation by his fucking self.
Is this a vacation or is this just him doing his job?
No. In the manual for the game, it explicitly states he was on vacation from his usual employment by himself, just cruising through the stars, when all of a sudden he hits an asteroid and just fucking eats shit. Message number 14. Looking from this planet into the skies above, I see the pale white moon floating overhead. It brings to mind memories of the moon from back home. I bet that even now my wife and children are sitting at home, gazing up at our pale red moon. Hang on, dear ones. Your Olimar will return someday. So, we don't get a lot of overt characterization of Olimar during the gameplay, per se. But it's through these captain's logs and note entries that he's got that we really get a picture of who he is as a person. And there's a consistent recurring theme throughout the game at how devoted to his family he is. I mean, case in point, if we take a look at the SS Dolphin, 2 parts that are on the ship, which are required to successfully leave, are the 2 presents that were given to him by his son and daughter. The Libra and the Sagittarius jewels that are on the left and right side of the ship here. Message number 18. I cannot seem to sleep. At night I am overcome with uneasiness. I am the only one to have ever stood on this planet. The Pikmin follow my orders, but frankly, I have no idea what they could be thinking. Ah, yes. It brings the faces of my children to mind. May I have courage.
What are these Pikmin thinking? These savages. I feel they've gotten hungry. It's maybe my last night. There does not appear to be Pikmin women. There's only Pikmin people. This place is strange.
Number 22. My daughter, who was always so sweet in her youth, has become so precocious lately. I can only imagine how many headaches she has caused her mother in my absence. With her parentage, I am certain she will grow into a beautiful woman. Still, as a father, a daughter's beauty is a seed that blooms nothing but worry. Number 25. At this point, I no longer care what happens. Surely, not even a last-minute push can guarantee my success. Now that I think about it, my wife always said that I gave up too easily. What does she know anyway? When did she become a licensed psychiatrist? Now I am upset. I guess I will just go to sleep early tonight. Getting mad at problems that are not real. Number 27. I don't have much to write today. When I inspected the onion's legs, I saw that they were covered in tiny little hairs. It was kind of disturbing.
Wait, you notice? Wait, repeat that?
Yeah, so according to Olimar, the legs of the onions, which is what we're under right now, have these tiny, fibrous little hairs. So, another recurring theme across all these messages is the closer you draw to day 30, Olimar appears to get more and more desperate because, the clock is running out. To this effect, there are actually a couple of messages that are programmed into the game but go unused, largely because at the end of day 30, we do not get the usual end of day sequence. Instead, it just cuts straight to that final cutscene. So this first message is not shown because once the player has collected all 30 ship parts, the cutscene plays. After that, the game will show the final analysis screen, never to have Olimar write in his log again within that saved game. And it reads as thus. I have finally recovered all 30 parts of my ship and succeeded in escaping this strange world. To think all the times I almost gave up hope. On the now distant surface, the brave Pikmin that aided me in my perilous quest are running about as if I had never come. Will our paths ever cross again? At any rate, I can finally return to my home world. I feel relief, of course, but also a certain sadness. I can't exactly say. Perhaps I am just thinking of the long journey through space that still lies before me. This time, I shall set my ship's navigation system so that I encounter no more meteors, and I shall enjoy a long, relaxing sleep. I shan't forget you, Pikmin. Contrary to that, if you do not have a successful finale, this other unused message would instead be prompted. I am so very tired.
That's it.
That's it.
That's dark.
It is super fucking dark. And it's strange to think that there may have been a version of the game where that could have been read to children. Because if it wasn't for the fact that the ending cutscene trumps the normal end of day stuff, that it's a harrowing thought. And it only gets scarier the older I've gotten, because like you're just giving up. But fortunately, we won't have to subject Olimar to that fate in our canon playthrough, as we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
So, a quick piece of trivia that I'd like to share with you before we get interrupted by the end of the day. This game was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto. He's the same man who designed the Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda franchises. And this franchise has become something of Miyamoto's pet project. Like, it is his personal favorite thing to work on at this late stage of his career. And so when it came time around to do the marketing for this game and to start getting people interested in telling them what the hell Pikmin is all about, uh, during the press circuit, he would be quoted as saying that he was inspired by watching a trail of ants carry a leaf down a line. And now that kind of visual kind of carried itself over into the spirit of what the Pikmin do. I mean, because you can kind of see it. Bunch of tiny little dudes carrying things way bigger than they are, accomplishing gargantuan tasks. Yeah, that story is all lies. It was just made up for marketing.
Huh. Oh, jeez. Nothing is sacred. Oh. Oh no.
Yep.
Is this gonna be like a Apollo 13 kind of thing?
Let's find out.
Oh god.
I mean, he's got like a working engine and a cockpit and all that. I'm sure it's be fine.
So they hired Steven Tyler, right? I don't want to close. Creepy ass little stairs. Do the blue ones have mouths?
Gills, yes. Oh, he's looking a little shaky there.
No, you stay on the planet forever. Whoa.
So the ones that are in blue on the right column, those are the non-required parts.
Oh. So we don't need a space float, I see. Interesting. Oh no, he's dead! They're going to sacrifice him to the gods. He's going to be planted, and he shall become one of us. A Pikmin. An Ola Pikmin.
You're not far off. The fandom refers to this particular breed of Pikmin as an Olamin. And we don't even get credits.
He is now a Jinjo.
Alright.
Pikmin are basically Jinjo that walk. So now we're going to go on to the actual save file and see if we can get the good ending.
Yes, in fact, we will.
You better. I swear. Can't keep teasing the heart.
Well, I've got 11 parts to collect, and it's only day 9.
Well, you better hurry up.
So we're going to explore the 4th area of the game, a new area to us, the Distant Spring. This is the biggest area in the game, and as the name implies, there's going to be a lot of water. There's also 10 parts for us to collect here, so we're going to be hanging out here for a little bit.
Okay.
So first things first, bunch of water all over the place. And we got parts scattered all through, basically along the edges of the map here. So where there's water, there's blue Pikmin.
That makes sense.
Alright, so we're going to need a lot of these guys, and we're going to need to flower them up. That's good enough for now. So we're going to start exploring. And here we have new enemy variants. This is the yellow Wollywog. Just like the standard Wollywog we found in the Forest Naval. He's a bit bigger. He's a bit faster than his cousin. And he's got a slightly bigger surface area when he comes down to crush. And so he can be pretty lethal. In fact, this area is full of the most lethal variants of every creature we've encountered so far. Yeah, and well, I mean, it's the final area, so it would stand to reason. So these guys we got over here are bull bears. These are a bigger, faster, more aggressive cousin of the standard bulborb we've been seeing prior to this. And right above him we have a puffy blowhog. This guy is a huge pain in the ass. He won't kill your Pikmin, but he will blow them away, and in the process deflower them.
Not my Pikmin.
And whenever he blows like that, his gust has a very deceptively large area of effect. Like, you could think you're well clear of its effective radius, but no. It will knock any Pikmin that are even remotely nearby. So it won't directly kill your Pikmin, but it will have the tendency to blow them into the nearby hostile creatures. And if there's any Pikmin who are carrying stuff under its path, it will blow them off and basically render them idle for whatever task you had them assigned previously. Just like that. So the only way to deal with it is you gotta throw Pikmin onto it to weigh it down, and while it's down, just swarm it. And it'll drop a handful of 5 pellets for your troubles. That's these guys dealt with. So these guys have a ton of HP compared to the regular bulborbs. Pretty much so that if you do not have a large group of Pikmin with you, they will just have a field day. Because not only are they stronger, but they're also much faster, which means they will shake off any attacking Pikmin at a faster rate, making them vulnerable to then being eaten. And even the tried and true swarming method may not necessarily do the job compared to their weaker counterparts. Here we have some Shearwigs who decided to spawn in water, which is lethal to them.
Which is lethal to them. Nice.
You dummies.
The dummies.
Okay. Alright. So here's what we need to do. So we need to build this bridge because there's a part right on the other side of this beach front here. But the way that the Pikmin are going to carry it back is down this pathway towards this bridge.
Mm. Is this going to explain everything you're about to explain?
I mean, he pretty much said all that I would have said anyway. So, but yeah, the gist of it is if you've got Pikmin who are taking something back, but their pathway is inaccessible. There's a bridge that needs to be built, or there's a wall blocking their way back. Then they will just kind of stand there until the way is clear for them. And I'm going to go ahead and throw you back, because I'm going to do a little swapsy. I'm going to put 10 of you guys away and take out some yellows, because there are a couple of stone walls blocking off the other half of the map from us. And so we're just going to go ahead and start clearing the way. Ah, fucking hell. So this guy who's flying above is another annoying piece of shit. He is the bumbling snitch bug.
Wait, what?
Basically what he's going to do is he's going to try and swoop down and grab your Pikmin, and then if he's successful, he will throw them into the ground, replanting them. And just like the Puffy Blowhog before them, he is not overtly lethal, but he will harass any Pikmin that are currently occupied. Okay.
Was that a cave?
No, that was remnants of some sort of animal skull.
Oh.
This is a lived-in world.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. So we got another bull bear over here, but we're gonna try and ignore him. So before we go and try to collect that part, I am going to grab all these yellows, load them up with bombs. And I'm going to walk them down here. Okay. Gonna have to deal with this guy some other time. God, he will just not let up. Jesus Christ.
Persistence is the key to success.
Ah, what? Okay. Alright. Well, that could have gone better. There you go. Alright. So this first day is really just doing a lot of path work done. Yes, Olimar, this is the third time you've said that.
Hey, did you know? Yes, you didn't.
Truly a critical part.
Truly important information. I feel like you don't appreciate his information.
So these guys are just going to walk right past. Again, straight to the ship. And while they're doing that, we're going to go ahead and have the rest of these guys start taking care of another obstacle.
Ooh.
Poor little Olimar. Do what?
No, 20 out of 30. There's only 10 more.
That is correct. Okay. So I'm going to put 30 of you guys back because having more of you with me is only going to make this more difficult. So we're going to throw these guys up here on this little stone ledge. And we're going to use our little swarm command feature to walk these guys all along here to this other part. Okay. There we go. Then we're going to grab that. Man, this would have been handy to find much earlier. So we're not going to have enough time to finish this other bridge. But we can at least kill those bugs that are popping out of the ground right there. We're doing it. There we go. What are you doing over here? Ah, god damn it. He's dead. Okay, let me check to see if there's a rogue Pikmin up there. Alright, 59 out of 59. So first day is a little slow, but we'll be able to pick up a lot of steam tomorrow.
know.
So Olimar's just recounting that his math isn't quite mathing.
Oh, oh.
Once more into the breach.
Rode the 100. Are they gonna die? Yeah, definitely. They're missing 400 more. For some reason, this game's only giving me a 100. They're definitely not gonna make it down.
So I'm gonna grab a couple of you guys.
It's not mine to wonder why. It is mine what to do.
Alright. So we're going to pick up where we left off. The first thing on our list is tearing down some walls and building that other bridge.
The other bridge.
Okay. Alright. And we're going to leave you guys there. And so we will have to kill this guy because he's just barely close enough that he will be able to reach this bridge. And if we leave our Pikmin unattended, that will run the risk of him just absolutely trampling all over them. There we go. Alright. Get to work. And I'll take you guys. Finish tearing down this other wall. And let's go ahead and antagonize this guy. Woo! Did get a bit of damage. So his little area of domain is just like right to that gate. And so what we can essentially do is we can bait him to turn him around because they are weaker on the backside. And coax him into going back to sleep. I seem to have rogue Pikmin somewhere. Oh my god. So these guys were tragic victims of a fight from a prior day. God damn it. So there's a couple of things in this game that don't work quite as the programmers had intended, such as like plucking, because you do really have to be like right on top of them in order for them to for Olimar to get a successful pluck. I heard the alarm bell go off, so we're going to take this huge group of blue Pikmin over to this board. The Gluon Drive! Quark Binding!
It seems that we may have some issues with the stream. It looks like it might be a bit choppy. And my input might be a little bit low by comparison. Let's see if we can figure out that.
Let's see.
I feel like my voice is probably a bit distant, but I'm not. Because my son right now, I can't really get too close to the mic.
No, you're pretty good as far as I can tell, but stream's looking fine.
Maybe stolen message comes in, just sits in just thinking. Just a saying. I continuously be perplexed. How dare you? I am not perplexed.
Well, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and see what's going on here.
So good. How's that good?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, let me just check over some of these stream settings.
He says it might have been his stuff.
Yeah, no, because we're not overdoing it on the stream, and
my one's good. I mean, I can see.
Yeah. No, we should be fine. Because, yeah, watching a live playback on another device, it seems to be working pretty fine.
Yeah, and I think for me, my voice is just fucking stupid low, so that's just how it is.
Well, I can boost you.
No. I mean, like, my voice is like bass baritone low. I don't know about boosting it. It's all good.
Well, as far as I can tell, you sound fine.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So yeah, so they're gonna go ahead and carry that heavy thing back. And while they're doing that, we're gonna
fight, kill him. Do it, get him.
He got dead.
Oh no, its volume is lower in comparison. Oh, boost my output in Discord. Alright, fine. How about this?
Got
I boosted my output.
Third-party tech support happening live.
Is this good? Can you hear me? I feel you.
I could try boosting it on my end. There.
Because he said, oh no, it's volume low in comparison to the rest of the audio. Might just need a boost on your output in Discord. And I was like, okay. And I just did it.
Well, I boosted you on my side. We'll see if that makes a difference since it's all being routed through me anyway.
Ah, I see. Yeah, better now. Oh, you want to give us a lot of stuff? I see. He is talking, but doesn't want to talk to us. I see. Aha.
Hey, he can hop on anytime he wants to. He knows where we are.
He could hijack this flight. No, I'm not really gonna joke. You could also co-pilot if you want, but no, you don't want. Don't want at all. Silent viper in the mist.
damn it. He actually knows this game, too.
I'm just trying to assure a quality stream. How dare my IT services be questioned? Well, if IT wants to get on the phone and talk to us directly, hey, hey, you could be ground control, okay? We're Major Tom, and we're out here talking, and you could be like, whose shirt do you wear? Oh, I'm cleaning. So no. Oh, he's cleaning what? His hard drives? Fake news.
Anyway, so those yellow Pikmin are going to be taking that UV lamp back to the ship. Because Olimar needs to work on his tan.
A UV lamp?
Yep.
Ultraviolet lamp? Well, I mean, wait. Why does he need an ultraviolet lamp? What is? Do half these things do anything? Is he actually labeling them incorrectly or correctly? I'm also waiting for a response from Stover because he's typing, and I'm pretty sure there's a 30-second delay. So wait for his ass. So I'm gonna jump on him when he talks. Anyway, UV lamp. What the fuck would you use a U? Like, what does he need to look into UV
for tanning?
You don't use that for tanning. That is how you get cancer. Skin cancer. Olimar skin cancer. That's the worst type. He's got nose. That nose don't need no skin cancer. What does it say? What did it say? God, did you ever...
It was on the screen for so long, man. That's on
2
you.
2 seconds. It was on for 2 seconds. How dare you? That's not all so long.
Well, as a quick summary, Olimar was indicating that that particular part may not have been necessary.
Uh-huh. Goddamn right it wasn't. And actually, we can use full-on sentences. You don't have to just type 2 words and say, no. Maybe he can't type. Maybe he's too busy creating Gundams and shit. Yeah, I'm calling you out. No response, I guess. Shall he be goaded or not? Oh, I can make this bigger. Oh, Discord is a wonder.
So just goading this guy to turn him around because it'd be easier to deal with if he's facing the other way.
Interesting. The design looks like a fourth grader did, just be honest. Like, it looks like a puffy balloon with spikes on its ass.
Essentially. Alright, I'm gonna need to kill this guy.
Do the enemies or have any significance in, like, culture in Japan? Is this like a...
Not particularly. These are all just, you know...
original ideas?
Original creations. They're all, like some sort of, like, mutated variants of, like, common bugs. But that's about it.
Mutated variants of common bugs. Sounds like somebody I know who's not here. Okay. I just want to provoke him into some kind of response. Or he joins. But no. He shall not be moved, I guess.
You stop.
At least they have the foresight to troubleshoot like the Pikmin dilemma. Like you're able to kind of figure out where they are. I feel like if they didn't have that ability, like you didn't have that ability to kind of look at the map and see the Pikmin,
yeah,
I feel like this game would have suffered so much more for it.
Oh, it definitely made it way more annoying. Especially since their AI is not particularly great.
Yeah, I feel like trying to find these Pikmin would have been the most hassling job. You know? Because having is that green dot a Pikmin?
Yep, that is a replanted Pikmin.
Oh, that dude.
Yep, this guy's back. Armored Cannon Beetle, mini boss, has returned.
Is that the fire one? Does it shoot fire? No. Which one does it
No,
shoot?
it shoots boulders.
Oh, bold. Well, do any of your Pikmin have resistance to boulders?
Nope, not in this game.
Oh. No boulder resistance? That's like Pikmin 101. Come on. Come on, man.
They are a primitive species.
Let's just look under the hood for you. Look, this is your problem. You have a giant Pikmin in your butt. No. Oh, was that a piece of the ship?
Yeah, I'll go back and check in it a little bit. I just want to make sure I plucked this guy.
I'm sorry. I think the audio cut out. You want to know what that dude? Oh, the so-called space. What does that do?
It's the nose of the ship.
Interesting. So we have 23 of 30. Interesting. Interesting. Does it always take them this long to make anything?
Hmm?
It seems like they're taking a long time.
Well, a lot of the obstacles are stronger in this area compared to the earlier areas, so
Mm.
that and given the overall size of it, it's just part of the challenge.
Um,
Because like this is sort of like you're kind of expected to know what you're doing by the time you get here.
yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, they're not going to have time to grab that and take it back to the ship because they have to go through this walkway over here because the entry they came in through is too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that basically have to take it all the way through here, which means we have to build this bridge and then tear down this wall. So what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna go ahead and try and kill this guy before the end of the day. So it's just one less thing we got to worry about tomorrow. And probably not gonna happen. So we're just gonna run away. Another day, another dollar. That's not true. We're losing money on this venture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, this is the most terrifying end of day sequence because you have all their shear wigs come out from directly under the landing site.
Oh.
The implication is they're there the entire time.
I could have killed you at any time I wanted.
At any moment. right. So we're going to do, hopefully, something really cool. The good thing about these bomb rocks is that they do respawn every day. And each of these little deposits will give you 4 or 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember to last week, there was something of an exploit that we tried to do. But well, apparently it didn't work because the thing just unspawned.
Ooh.
Well, that's unfortunate. So what I'm trying to do is save us a little bit of time by having these yellow Pikmin blow up this one gate here because there is a part behind it. And instead of having a bunch of blue Pikmin... There we go. That's how it's supposed to go. What? The hell was that? Alright. So yeah, instead of having a bunch of blue Pikmin have to sit there and tear it down, we're instead going to just blow up the wall.
Mm.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull out 100 blue Pikmin.
He uses the blue army rises at dawn.
Come on. There. Gotta make sure all my babies are flowered up. Coax this guy. And he crushed one. The crushing glitch strikes again.
Jeez.
And another one. Cool. Thanks, RNG.
Zirconium rotor.
I suspect the mechanic overcharged me. Olimar is not a particularly savvy spaceman.
No.
Yep. He calls it a pilot seat, but clearly it's a butt pillow.
Jesus. Not the butt pillow.
So in the water, we have some more unique creatures. These guys are the water dumples. They are the aquatic equivalent of the dwarf bulborbs. In fact, they share the same taxonomic class.
They're always attacking packs.
There we go. Hey, get back here.
Massacring the entire species. Wonderful.
Well, we needed to kill them to get them out of the way, because otherwise they will obliterate our Pikmin.
You're feeding them to this plate?
This is a candy pop bud. This is the only way you can convert Pikmin of one type into Pikmin of a different type.
Huh. It's a very precocious place to have yellow Pikmin, but okay. I think one of them fell down that way.
Oh.
Why does the ship even look worse than it did when it fell out of the sky? It looks all patchwork.
And there's still a couple of elements missing. It'll start to fill in. We're going to leave those guys there. They'll resprout eventually. And we're going to come up here. Throw some Pikmin on the ledge. And pick up that guy. So we had these guys up here, and we're going to bring them over to this isolated shoreline, because this is the only way we can get yellow Pikmin over here, and we need them because this part is really high up.
Evidently too high for yellow Pikmin.
It's just, you gotta be in like the sweet spot, like there.
Gotta lob them.
Now bring it down. See, the thing is like, as a space captain, you should not be amazed at the mysteries of your ship. You should know every single bolt and screw that holds that thing together.
Olimar is not very competent.
What a specific set of ads. Going specifically for the henpecked husband demographic. And so we reconvert those yellow Pikmin back into blue. So that way they can traipse this part through the water. And while they're walking that part back, we're going to go back to our landing area. Grab a couple of red Pikmin. So that way they could pick up that part that they weren't able to collect last time. And there they go. And these are the last two parts that need to be collected in this area. And the final part in the area is all the way down here.
In the water.
In the middle of the fucking water.
Oof.
So let's
Do
go.
you need to like build a bridge for that, or is it easy to get?
It's easy to get. You just need a shit ton of blues.
So I guess that means like putting all of your resources to one venture.
In a sense. Come on. So the final part is in this puffy blowhog, who happens to be hanging around with these water dumples.
Is that normal, or like do they like always hang around each other, or is it more like you only find them?
It's just how they design this particular challenge. So what I want to try to do is see if I can't coax it to get away from them, so that way I can kill it, because otherwise I'll have to take on that pack of dumples right there, and they will go to town on your Pikmin. Gotta appreciate Olimar dumbing that down for the layman. Come on. I really do not want to have to come back here for an additional day. But I may not have a choice. Now you come back here.
Where's the item? Oh, there it is.
Fell right on my head.
Will it kill you? I wonder.
Well, this seems important.
Slightly.
Just making sure that these guys are distracted so these guys can sneak past. You're not going to make it, are you? Of course not. You're taking the long fucking way back. Well, this will just give you an opportunity to show something else off. Something that is deeply horrifying.
Uh-oh. Oh, they're organized. Horrifying. Next thing you know, they're gonna start unions. Tall trees. Was that the terrifying part?
Oh, no, you'll know it when I do it. So we're back, because there's one last part we got to get here. And something that is, frankly, something I would normally avoid in a typical playthrough. But for education purposes, we're going to be showing it off.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Oh, that's gonna have to do. Back here. Alright, so they'll take that back to the ship. And we're gonna come... Actually, I'm gonna leave you guys here. So there's only one part remaining. Alright. You guys gotta wait over here. So directly ahead is this little shrine area of sorts. At least that's what I call it. And at the center of it is an egg.
Is this the last part? One of the last parts?
The last something.
What the heck?
This is the Smoky Prog, a secret boss of the game. He is unique in that he only spawns if you explore this area prior to day 16. He is super lethal to your Pikmin, largely because you'll see this trail of black smoke that's falling behind him. That will poison and instantly kill your Pikmin.
Jeez. So how do you kill him?
Oh, same way you kill everything else. Throw Pikmin at its head. But that little roar it just did will pluck up any Pikmin that you have currently planted and will then immediately kill them. So not even your planted Pikmin are safe. This thing's got a ton of health. And because of its deathly plume, makes it dangerous to kill. See, look at that. It's already killed plenty of Pikmin who just had the misfortune of being too close.
Damn.
It's got a shit ton of health. And because it's so dangerous to your Pikmin, makes it an incredibly challenging fight. Just absolutely decimating our numbers. We started with 100. Here we got in a bit of a stun cycle. And it's dead. And as you can see, fighting this thing, it causes an interesting glitch. If you check at the bottom of the screen where the Pikmin counter is, we have 54 Pikmin in our party, but there's only 49 that are registering as being in the area. This is because whenever it dies, any Pikmin that would normally be caught in its plume, that sequence is immediately canceled. But the game has already registered those as a death.
So, get all those Pikmin back. Like, you'd have to go to those flowers, get the carcasses of fallen enemies, like do all of that just to rebuild your numbers, right?
Essentially.
Or do you have them like stocked up already?
Well, I already have a pretty decent stockpile, but if you're able to kill the Smoky Prog, it'll drop this golden pearl.
Okay.
And if you take it back to an onion, just watch the counter at the bottom.
Oh. Wait, what is that? Wait, where'd you get the golden pearl from?
The Smoky Prog. When you kill it, it drops it.
Oh.
And if you take it back to an onion, it will give you 100 Pikmin.
Oh. So it's as if you didn't actually fight it.
Well, I mean, if you're more skillful in fighting it, then it can be a very lucrative sort of thing. Especially if you're trying to go for like a high Pikmin grow run. But otherwise, it's just a nice little counterbalance for how absurdly difficult that fight would be if you have no idea it's coming. Because in order to trigger it, you just have to be nearby for a little bit, and it'll hatch out of its egg. But there is also another glitch that can occur when it comes to spawning the Smoky Prog. You can actually completely destroy the egg before that spawn countdown finishes, and in doing so, the Smoky Prog will not spawn. There'll be nothing there.
Oh, won't even drop the egg. Oh, won't even drop the onion.
Nope.
Wow.
I'm not sure if that's a programming oversight or if that was an intentional design choice, because like you basically just have to like tease it, and then it'll spawn. But if you try to outright kill it while it's still in the egg, then you don't get anything for it.
Damn.
But yeah, so we have all but one part. There's nothing else for us to do in this area. There's nothing else for us to do in any of the other areas. So let's go ahead and just go to Sunset. See if we can't figure out where this final part is. Weirdly, I think I'm going to miss this place.
Same. Courage.
I think we came out ahead, all things considered.
Is it? Oh well, I guess it's duplexer. The final trial.
Yes, so upon collecting 29 out of the 30 parts, you will unlock the final area, appropriately called the final trial. Before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and take the opportunity to showcase an encounter that we had missed.
Oh.
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier in the stream, this is an encounter that only spawns in odd number days. Odd number in the impact site. It is a bit of a peculiar fight, but not necessarily a dangerous one. At least not if you come with the correct Pikmin. That's enough. Okay. So if we come back up to this tree stump area, and normally there's an enemy that's supposed to be here. And surprise it is!
Oh, is it like a gelatinous?
This is the Gulix. It's some sort of like...
What? The Gulix?
The Gulix. It is some sort of like membrane thing. And it's got these two nucleoid centers. A metallic one, which the Pikmin are attracted to attack, and it is vulnerable there, but it has ridiculously high defense. The other one is this more fibrous center, where you can get it to collide with its metal membrane. And that will deal a significant amount of damage to it. So this is a creature that is made entirely out of water, meaning attacking it with non-blues is out of the question. But one way to deal with it is to have a bunch of blues weigh down its metal membrane, which will cause the fibrous one to reach out further and further. And if you manage to get a Pikmin to land square on it, it will cause it to ricochet back and deal massive amounts of damage. Again, not a particularly lethal fight, but an interesting one. And you don't really get much of anything for it. Let's try and fire all you guys up. That's good enough. So yeah, so the Gulix is the last sort of mini-boss we can encounter in the game. And in fact, we have encountered most of every type of creature. Because of our relative expedience, there are some creatures that would have spawned on later days, like particularly like starting on day 16. The bull bears that were in the distant spring do have a juvenile counterpart, dwarf bull bears, which are actual juveniles, because the dwarf red bulborbs are not actually young bulborbs, but instead a breadbug mimic of the bulborb.
Okay.
I like the taxonomic nomenclature and classification of all the creatures in these games gets incredibly detailed, especially some in the sequel. But considering that as a more sort of common, basic sort of enemy, it's not really worth going out of our way to try and demonstrate, especially since it's just a stronger version of the dwarf bulborb. It's still vulnerable to being crushed by Pikmin, so it's not like it's any more difficult to take care of.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go ahead and... Actually, no. We're going to continue from last save, because we didn't really do anything. So without further ado, it's the final trial.
The final trial.
So we have a relatively small area here. It's pretty much just a straight line. Some water, a couple of different obstacles in our way that we have to clear out in order to get to the final part, but it's just sitting there, so let's get to it.
Big boss battle. I'm calling it now. Big boss battle.
So you've watched me play this game now. What do you think a final boss of this game will look like?
Probably some big billboard. Something like that. A large billboard.
All right. So we've got our blues split up, taking care of those two bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to come up and grab 3 yellows. Just 3. That's all we need.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Okay.
And we got to throw them all the way up here to get a couple of bomb rocks because there's a stone wall that is barricading the pathway there. I just want 1. Give me 1. Alright, whatever. Tragic. Oh, are we gonna see? We're gonna see rescue? No, you're not. There he is. So that's an interesting mechanic in that if you have idling blues nearby water and there happens to be a Pikmin drowning, they will throw the drowning Pikmin out of the water.
That's pretty cool.
It's not really a mechanic you get to see all that often.
Do blue Pikmin have to be within like a certain distance, or is it just any they'll run over?
They do need to be reasonably close. I don't really know a proper measurement to describe. But as you can see, there were 2 blues just kind of like hanging out nearby, and then one of them just straight up rushed to the aid of that yellow Pikmin that was drowning. So those guys are still working on these bridges, and in the meantime, we need to take 10 reds and have them walk through literal fire. We're going to guide them all along the pathway here, and because we have a cardboard box. The first obstacle we ever encounter in the game is also the last. Something about poetry, I don't know. Okay. And with that, our blues have successfully completed this bridge. And that means it's a wrap on the blues. We will not need them for the rest of this playthrough. Say goodbye. Bye. Bye, blues. We'll miss you. We'll see you in the sequel. And we're just going to get a shit ton of reds to take their place.
Red's for fire. Red is the war comes.
So we have a team of 90 red Pikmin and 10 yellow. And we're going to go and take down this other gate. And then we're also going to try flowering up all of our red Pikmin. Oh, that I'll have to do. Alright, so you know what a boss arena looks like, so there's no point in burying the lead. There he is! So you were right. It is a giant Bulborb. In fact, it is the giantest Bulborb. The Emperor Bulblax.
Is that actually the name?
Yep. So looking at this thing, it's vulnerable only on its face. If you try to throw Pikmin onto its green hide area, it will just bounce them straight off. Mm-hmm. And this thing has a very voracious appetite. It will spit out its tongue to scoop up as however many Pikmin are unfortunate to be caught in its wake. It will just kind of walk around the area, just waiting for a tasty Pikmin snack. Fortunately, it will not leave this central arena. So we can either just try to throw Pikmin on its face and hope for the best. But we have these bomb rocks here. And what we can do is we can entice it to try and eat Pikmin. They will throw a bomb in its face, giving us an opportunity to attack it. It will stun it for a brief second. And that is pretty much our window of opportunity. However, if we can get it to try to consume multiple bombs, it will increase its stun time. Unfortunately, it did not want to take the bait that time. Such is the way of life.
Oh, too smart for you. Too smart for you, obviously.
No. Problem is you can't really get a good control on the Pikmin you want to throw. Meaning if you accidentally grab a yellow that's holding a bomb rock, then you're just shit out of luck. Okay, that's cool. This is a very tedious fight. So obviously there is an alternate we can do to just, rather than having them throw bombs, we could just leave our poor yellow Pikmin to just idle to be eaten by the creature. Come on. Trying to bait this thing is not the smoothest thing in the world. Also, trying to get his attention is annoying as hell. Oh no. That's not what I wanted it to do at all. So as you can see, this thing's got a shit ton of health, and this fight does take the better part of a day.
So does he heal up?
He doesn't necessarily heal up during the fight, but he will recover health if we are not able to complete the fight within the day. Which is looking like that's going to happen because these bombs are just not wanting to cooperate. Honestly, I've never had this much trouble trying to fight this thing before with trying to coax it into eating bombs. Yeah, this is just the general rhythm of the fight. I don't understand what's happening. So generally what you need to do is whenever you see it start salivating like that, that's when it's about to attack your Pikmin, and that's the time in which you want to throw a bomb at it. But for whatever its reason, it's just not wanting to keep... that's unfortunate.
Halfway there.
Yeah, so we're not going to have time to finish this fight today, which is truly unfortunate.
Really?
Nope. That's how much health this thing's got. Like, it getting to that boss arena, it really takes no time at all. You can get it done in like 2 minutes. At most. Taking that boss out takes the better part of the day. Because not only do you have to defeat it fast enough, you also have to defeat it with enough time to actually carry the part that it's holding back. Tragic.
Tragic.
So, Olimar's just going to reiterate how to utilize our bomb rocks. So, let's go back for round 2. Because we're gluttons for punishment. So, of course, the method I was trying is the quote-unquote safe method. That is to say, to try and minimize your casualties.
So if you sustain too many casualties, you have to go away from this place and go pick one.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if your reserves get too low, you can go to another area. Most likely the impact site, because that seems to be the area that has the most, that is the most bountiful for growing Pikmin. Okay. Okay. So this is the sacrificial method.
Oh, brutal. Lambs in the slaughter.
Pretty much. But with that, we were able to take out a third of that thing's health. So we can... It's faster, but it is a terrible cost. Because not only that, plus we got to go back and get some more if we want to try it again. Typically, what speedrunners will do, since you don't need any more Pikmin after this fight anyway, they will get like 20 or 30 yellow Pikmin, set them up in the center like that to be eaten, and then that will stun the thing long enough to one cycle it. It feels bad, though.
It's hard to look at.
Yeah, well. Gave up on a no-death run way back, so... If you want to see one, check out the Let's Play that's on the channel. It is a far more confident playthrough than what I am demonstrating right now. That thing just waddling around like a big old duck.
Like a big old duck.
What? Seriously, one got stuck? Ah, that's fine. What? Come on. Turn around. Let's grab a couple more bombs. Oh, okay. A little too close. One more round, probably. Hopefully. Come on, you greedy little pig. There we go. Here it is.
At long last, I have found the final part. Good save. Fool as ever. How glad I am that I have persisted in my search without losing hope. Now I can leave this planet without any regrets. Maybe I'll even stop and pick up some souvenirs for my wife and kids. Back on planet Tate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. All of this for a piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Boom. But does it take 84 of them to move it? No.
Well, maybe. So Olmar can actually lay down and take a nap, and if he does so, the Pikmin will grab him.
Sacrifice them.
Yep.
Will he become an Olmar Pikmin?
Well, let's find out.
He will. Oh, we'll probably slam him against the bottom of the ship because he hasn't died yet. He's not a carcass. Bam! Yep. I called. I didn't even know. I don't know. You know how much I know. And I know nothing. And even now, I know half of that.
That's just physics. And there it is. Our ship is fully restored.
Oh.
Hooray! There he goes.
Oh. We have learned much from this Olimar. He has taught us many things. Attack all of the animals. We shall conquer this world.
And just like that, Olimar has absolutely devastated this local ecosystem. Oh, what's this? Following in the distance!
The space aliens.
Onions of many sorts! Taking
the
flight!
The invasion has begun! The invasion has begun! Olimar's leading the invaders back to his home planet. This is the start of some kind of really bad 2000s sci-fi movie. You did what? You led them back? Yes. So wait, how many colors of Pikmin are there?
Well, that is always a question for the ages. In this game, there are 3.
Okay.
And we can see if there's more in the sequels. But here, so after we complete, we get our rundown for how well we did overall. You only get a valid ranking that ranks the Pikmin you've grown and lost throughout your playthrough if you've actually collected all 30 parts.
Oh, okay.
And here's the complete part manifest. The 5 unnecessary parts are the Nova Blaster, because it doesn't fucking work. The Space Float, because it doesn't fucking work. The Massage Machine, because it is not necessary at all for the functioning of the spaceship. The UV Lamp, because it is absolutely not necessary. And the Secret Safe.
It's his wallet, basically.
Yes. I think he would have been fine without it. But I do think that is a good decision that the developers made, because like even if you cannot defeat the Emperor Bulblex, you can still get a good ending. Because the good ending is not very different from the best ending, which is what we've gotten. Because Olimar still takes off, and it's perfectly fine, but we don't get the little bit where the Pikmin end up taking charge of their own destiny and then turn the tables on the hostile creatures.
Mm.
And it's game over, which means we get credits.
Oh, credits? Ooh. I've always liked credits. Look at those names I'm gonna mispronounce in my head.
So a lot of the department heads that were working on this project in particular are something of a kind of who's who at Nintendo.
Okay.
So obviously Shigeru Miyamoto, he's a legend. He's responsible for creating some of the most beloved franchises in all of video games. So it really goes without saying how important he is. But some of the other directors alongside were Shigefumi Hino, who is credited with the original design of Yoshi from Super Mario World and directed Yoshi's Island. And Masafumi Abe, who originally worked for Namco on the Tekken franchise. And incidentally also directed 1080 Snowboarding.
Okay.
Alongside, they had Hajime Wakai, who was the composer for this game. Prior to this, he had written the music for Star Fox 64, and would later go on to write music for the original New Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and would eventually become, and it still currently is, the music director for the Legend of Zelda series.
Sounds about right. Good music.
And the lead programmer for this game was Colin Reed, who was brought in alongside Shikifumi Hino and would later go on to, or previously worked on 1080 Snowboarding as well. He was something of like the main person to really take Miyamoto's vision and turn it into like a programmable reality. Because you have to realize that this was a brand new IP that was designed to take advantage of the new hardware that the GameCube was offering. I mean, having all of these disparate, self-controlling elements on the screen at the same time performing independent tasks is very impressive for 2001 when this game came out. And realistically, this game started as a tech demo. If you're familiar with your Nintendo history, you might be familiar with a tech demonstration called Mario 128, which was utilized by Nintendo to show off the processing capabilities of the GameCube to shareholders and to press during Space World 2000. And as the name implies, it demonstrates having 128 small Mario characters running around a manipulatable environment in real time, interacting with each other, picking up objects, throwing them, jumping around, whatever. And then it was that kernel of an idea that would inspire Miyamoto to say, hey, what if you could have a game where you could control all these things to accomplish various tasks, take down obstacles, what have you. And so this would eventually translate into what became Pikmin. So for 100% completion, we get this nice little enemy reel. Just showing off all of the native creatures that we just killed. Every single last one of them.
It's a rare species. Ooh. So if you didn't kill it, would it show up here?
Yes. Every single creature that is in this game will show up here.
Even the special mouth? Like,
yep.
Are these also creatures?
Yep.
Honeys. Ooh. Nectar. Maybe it's a flint beetle.
Fun little bit about this enemy reel. A lot of the areas that we're seeing here are early versions of the levels that would be in the final game. So there's a lot of things that are going to be popping up here that don't quite match up, and a lot of enemy placements that, did not that are just not in the correct area. Like the Pearly Clam, not in the Distant Spring. Never spawned there.
Oh, these also creatures? Oh, well, this is a thing.
Yeah, this game pretty much treats anything that has a health bar as an enemy creature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so whether or not they're dangerous or hostile in any sort of way, it doesn't really make a distinction. And technically, by that same merit, many of the obstacles, such as the bramble gates and the stick bridges, you could also consider enemies because they also have HP in their game coding.
Everything's an enemy. The whole world is against us.
Well, when the only way you can have Pikmin interact with something is either by carrying it or by beating it into submission, you need to have stats to reflect that.
Very true.
So, speaking of things like health bars, in an earlier iteration of this game, the Pikmin would have individually had health bars themselves, but obviously this was cut for ease of gameplay and because that would have been way too annoying to keep track of. And that is it. That was Pikmin.
The happy end. Oh. I tell you, that's the happy one.
Well, yeah, they don't want you to be confused.
It's not the bad one. The bad one is the bad end. Yes.
So, Pikmin came and went. It was a launch title for the GameCube, but being a new IP on a new system, it didn't necessarily translate into, like, you know, a doorbuster of a title. In fact, it sold pretty well for a new IP, all things considered. Just over 100,000 copies within the first week of launch, and to date, about 1 million units worldwide. So it's not the worst performing game in the world, but it was definitely something that Nintendo felt merited a sequel, because we did eventually get a sequel that was released in 2004, appropriately titled Pikmin 2.
Pikmin 2.
But yeah, that's Pikmin.
Oh, wow. It's over.
I told you it's a short game.
Wow. Well, it took us a whole week.
It was like 5 hours altogether.
No, we were sitting here for a whole week waiting. How it was.
So yeah, what'd you think?
Pretty straightforward, and I think the enemies, if I'm like new to the game, playing them, the different mechanics would have kept me occupied for a while. I think 30 days would have been enough to finish the game. I'm not sure if I would have gone for all 30. I might have just tried to prefer to the 25. But yeah, I can see it being an achievable goal. For me now, as a kid, I'm not sure. I think I'd have to have some kind of instruction.
I have always felt that the original Pikmin is probably the most difficult in the franchise to date. And a lot of this are opinions that I expressed in last week's stream, but I'll go ahead and reiterate them here. There's just a lot of like first game sort of idiosyncrasies that make this a bit of a weirder experience compared to the sequels that would come. Because you have a lot of things in here like the Pikmin randomly tripping when you're trying to go across the map. Like, it's so annoying because you could be going along doing your thing, trying to get things done, and then you'll just have to stop because a couple of your Pikmin had managed to trip, and you need to wait for them to catch up. They cut that shit in the second game.
Really?
Yeah. But there's also a couple of other things that they changed up. There's a couple of like quality of life things that they did in there. Like you could skip some of the recurring cutscenes, like the end of day stuff, the landing every morning, those sorts of things. And you could also skip most instances of dialogue in the game. You can't skip like core central, like this is how you play the game sort of things. But like any sort of like other dialogue pop up that may happen, you can ignore that if you've already seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And but also like they tightened up the mechanics, they tightened up the controls, they tightened up the gameplay overall in the sequel. Pikmin 3 the has a significant time in which it came out compared to Pikmin 2. Like that was a development cycle of like 9 years. So it's an entirely different beast, and I will be able to get into those once we get to it. But Pikmin 2 is very much a sort of like, we have the tools, we have the engine, we have a lot of assets. Let's just go fucking nuts. So it is definitely what I would consider to be an improved sequel. It is definitely also I would consider to be more like casual friendly. Yes. So in this game, you have the strict time limit of 30 days to get everything done, which isn't that terrible of a challenge if you're an experienced gamer. You may not like get a perfect time your first playthrough, but you'll still be able to do it. The sequels, they cut that shit. They don't hold you to any sort of time limit anymore. You play the game at your pace, whatever you need to complete it, and then you're good to go.
Interesting. Well, I guess they used the first one to kind of learn, what should be what, and kind of like I guess it's a trial and error. I guess the team kind of built on from there, kind of only improving what was already the basis of it. I think it's a really kind of simple and nice niche game. Um,
Oh yeah, I mean, I Pikmin, as much as I love the franchise, as near and dear to my heart as it is, like it's never going to occupy the same strata as like Mario or Zelda or Pokemon in the Nintendo universe.
Pantheon.
Yeah. Because like it is definitely what I would consider to be like a B tier title, because while its fan base is not as big as Super Mario, let's say, it is proportionally, I would argue, more passionate, because I find, at least in online communities, that if you find a group of people who love Pikmin, they fucking love Pikmin. I'm one of those people, so I might be biased, and that's the kind of groups I'd seek out.
Yeah.
But like, it's just it's such a peculiar, singular type of gaming experience. Like I've never been able to find anything that quite occupies the same space.
I think it definitely has the nostalgia, but I think it also has its charms. And you're right. I think B tier is a good kind of like place for it. And I would say it's a good game. After watching it, it's a good game, and I think it was a nice watch. Personally, I probably wouldn't pick up the series for myself. I didn't have the same kind of enjoyment, but I understand why it's enjoyable just from kind of the watch, and I can see why it would be interesting. But it doesn't hold your hand in a lot of ways. Like it didn't give you any of that knowledge you gave me after the fact. Like the names of these things, it didn't tell them mid game. It didn't explain the plants. it explains a little bit here and there the mechanics of the controls, but after that, it kind of lets you go out and kind of just do, you know. Now,
Yeah.
it did say there's a timer, but I mean, you know, that's good games give information without actually giving information, and this game did that in a very unique way, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree because it very much does capture the feeling like you're on a strange planet. You have no idea what anything around you is. You just got to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. And without the map as well, and until you get the map, it feels even more daunting because you don't know where's where and what is what. And once you get that, you get a little more kind of like a little more information. I think the game is all about also information and kind of strategy and understanding what's where, what should I pick, what's my group going to consist of. It's very much I would consider it a survival game. I would consider it a survival game with puzzles. Like you're trying to get the right Pikmin for the right job. Blues can go in the water, yellows go higher, reds fight and are immune to fire. All of these mechanics create a toolbox that you have to kind of choose which tool to pick out and which tool to use. The enemies have different mechanics as well. When you call, you pick them back, when you throw them the bombs, when you don't throw them the bombs. It's a whole litany of situations, unique and otherwise. I feel like I think it's very much kind of like a very cute survival game. That's I think it's really good. It has its place in history, and I think it has a good light upon it. You know, and it might be one of the first games to have one of those potential good and bad endings. I don't know very many of older style games that have that variety. There's either game over or you win most times. I've never I haven't really I haven't seen that kind of diversity in endings that far back. I can't remember one that would have something like that. But that's very interesting for them to put that in this opening title. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you bring up the interplay of the Pikmin, like with their strengths and their weaknesses and their immunities, because while this game does lay the groundwork, especially for like the elemental stuff that's in play, the sequels really hone in on that and like do a lot to refine those mechanics, because what I feel is like one of the shortfalls of this game is that the yellow Pikmin are relatively useless. Like, you really only need them in like a handful of situations, because like, yes, they're the only type that can use bomb rocks in this game, but like that's only a one-time sort of obstacle you have to contend with, versus like anything that has to do with fire. Like, you can't control the timing that fire is going to go off and hurt your Pikmin, so you're going to call in your reds to kind of negate that challenge. And there's water all over the fucking place in this game, so of course you're going to need your blues because they're locked behind water. And on top of that, like if you're talking about combat, your red Pikmin are stronger than the other two. So if you're needing to defeat a certain creature, more likely than not, you're going to choose reds to go with. And it just makes it like yellows more and more useless, because like the only other thing they have going for them is they could be thrown higher, but you really only need that for 3 of the parts. And even still, like, people have managed to find exploits and different tricks for this game to even like get around those sorts of obstacles. But it is something that I think the sequel addresses and fixes, so that way like all of the Pikmin feel equally weighted in their necessity.
Usefulness, yeah.
Because, I mean, truth be told, if you're playing Pikmin 1 with, like true skill and knowledge and, like, you know what you need to do, how to do it, and what it's going to require to get it done, you never need more than 30 yellow Pikmin throughout the entire game. So you could make the argument that makes them a specialist, but you know, like, I want to see all of my children in the sunlight having a good time.
I think initially they probably didn't have the foresight to balance, especially when they didn't. Well, I can't make excuses for them, but I can understand the shortcomings of the yellow, and I can definitely agree that their uses are limited.
Well, this is a shortcoming that they did address during development, because in an earlier iteration of the game, every type of Pikmin was able to use bomb rocks. But as development went on and they realized, like, oh, this means, like, players don't need to use yellow except for, like, these 2 or 3 instances, then they took that ability away from the other two. So that way it gives the yellow more of a specialized uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, these are all things that get addressed in the sequels, and it's the first game in the series, the first game of the franchise. There's going to be growing pains. There are going to be things that don't carry over into the sequels or that get reworked, readdressed, recontextualized. So it's just part of the development cycle. I mean, there's no, I don't think there's really any long running franchise of video games that, like, have perfectly preserved gameplay from the first iteration to the most current.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, I think this was a good entry for me, and I feel like, you know, for the next one, you know, I think we can hopefully find another co-pilot, a third eventually. So it's not just us two, but also the third, kind of give another kind of point of view. And maybe for the fourth one, we have a total of 4 of us. Potentially, you know. Oh, is there a third one? There's a third one, probably. Yeah.
There.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah,
there are 3 Pikmin games in the main series, a spin-off that was on the 3DS called Hey Pikmin, and we have Pikmin 4 on the horizon that will be launching July 21st.
Oh, wow. It's so close. It's almost, well, basically a month.
And I am so excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Well, we have our work cut out for us, I guess. Yeah. So let's see if we can get the other Pikmin done by then.
I think I can do it.
Well, even if it comes out, you're not gonna, like, immediately start streaming it. You're gonna take some time yourself. But yeah.
That's true. I want my first playthrough to be just for me. But yeah, so look forward to that. That'll be coming down the line. But that's probably going to wrap it for this stream. Thank you, Ed, for joining me. I'm glad you had a good time, and I hope you will continue to have a good time, because next time we will be picking up Pikmin 2, which I think you will get much more of a kick out of once the game gets going.
Okay. In my head, I've hyped it up. They've reached his home planet. We see the children and the wife. She is a psychologist and does much better than him.
You're just gonna have to tune in to find out.
Alrighty. Oh, I can't wait.
Alright, well, that's gonna wrap it for us here at Romp Airlines.
Yep. Have a good night, good day, and I'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.